Hey everyone, and welcome to the Everyday History Podcast, where we talk about the history of everyday things, words, practices, and pretty much fucking everything. Today's topic, everything. And today's topic is going to be the history of the best fucking word in the fucking world. Fuck yeah, we're talking about the F word. Had to get them all out. I'm your host, Dustin Lloyd, and with me, as always, is Tristan Boo Boo Kirby.
Hello.
There you go. I'm gonna preface this by saying that this is our first episode. We're probably gonna end up talking over each other because we're not used to this. So bear with us. We will get better as this goes on.
That's right.
And quick disclaimer, we are not historians, and we're not claiming to be. We're both, we work in the food industry. We'll leave it at that. So while we try to exhaustively research every topic, we can't promise we've covered everything. So if you hear something that you can refute, send in your claim with cited sources, and if it checks out, we'll feature it in an update on a future episode. You can send that on our Facebook or at everydayhistoryforyou@gmail.com. All right, now that shit's out of the way.
Ooh, every day for you.
Yeah, everyday history for you. You know why? Because I think everyday history was already taken. So, everyday history for you. Well, let's start this off by saying, if I had known that the history of any word was going to be so hard to research, I would not have picked a word. I think I've told you about this. Researching linguistics is so fucking ridiculous.
Where do you even start? I mean, like, with something like that.
Google.
Like when's... Of course.
You kind of just, I researched like dictionary, etymology, sources, things like that. And so the point of that is the fog of antiquity really likes to fuck with linguistics, especially linguistics. It's just really hard to research a particular word unless we know, exactly where it came from. And so, here we are with this one. So, first of all, fuck is my favorite cuss word.
Me too.
I'm just going to say that. Yeah, it's a legendary word.
It can
be a very flexible word.
Yeah, right. It's multifaceted. You can use it in times of passion, in times of rage, times of sadness. I mean, it's diverse. It's a good word.
Yeah, you can use it to describe, sexual relations with someone. Or you could say, I want to fucking kill him. There's so many different ways to use the word fuck, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
There's fuck
daily.
You, fuck off, fuck this, fuck that, fuck me, fuck you.
Right.
So it's an adjective, it's a verb, it's a noun, it's everything.
It's an all-encompassing word. It really is.
But where did it start?
Where did it start, Mr. John Everyday History Podcast?
Well, a lot of people have heard different false backstories on the word. Like,
yeah.
Go ahead. I know you know a couple.
Let's see. I've heard it's like an acronym. Like,
right.
For unlawful carnal knowledge is one. I don't know. I've heard like
fornicating under the under the command of the king or something like that.
Yeah. You just hear all kinds. And I think people just have fun with the word, like, oh, that sounds good,
I think as humans, we're kind of conditioned to enjoy a good history story or a good origin story. So to hear it came from something as fun as an acronym, it's like, oh, that's great. It's a fun story to tell your friends. Like, did you know this came from that?
Right.
But
it's a good part of the trick.
Yeah, but unfortunately, like during this, because that was one of the first things I started looking up, and that's, unfortunately, those are false origins. Acronyms were used to abbreviate names and such, but etymologists, which are word historians, I made sure to outline that for myself, say that the acronym history stories are just myth. So that sucks, because I really wanted one of them to be the real one.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, acronyms for fuck have not been found to go any further back than the 60s. And acronyms as a whole weren't really even a concept in the modern sense until like World War I.
Really?
Yeah, which surprised me. I thought we used acronyms way further back, but apparently some of our ancient ancestors weren't that cool.
I guess they just weren't clever, you know?
We're not clever. Not clever.
We're just
Dumb.
fucking dumb. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they did.
See, I just used it. I used the word.
Fucking dumb. Yeah, fuck. That went right fucking past me. So I did find that it might have come from an old Dutch word, which meant to hit. And because I'm an idiot, I forgot to write down what that word was. But also there's an old German word, which is ficken, Fikkin, which means, and you're going to love this, to penetrate.
No way. Oh
Ficken
my God.
means to penetrate. So that, you know.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But back in the 13th century, it became used in names. So
Ficken?
No, the word fuck, not ficken. The earliest one I could find was the year 1278, and
wow,
it was a name for a man, John Le Fucker.
No way, John Le Fucker.
Jean Le Fucker. Jean Le Fucker.
Wow.
Oh, I'm gonna fuck this word up so bad. Ready for this?
I'm ready.
Philologists, which I should have just put grammar historians because that's what that means, generally agree that the meaning of that word at that time was not sexual, and it was probably translating into John the Fidgeter, because fuck also came from a word that means fidget.
Well, I mean,
yeah. So, but let's get down to where the meat of the matter, so to speak. First use of the word fuck recorded to imply a sexual context. This was discovered by Dr. Paul Booth of Keele University in 2015. So just so he doesn't sound like, oh, this guy just pulled this out of his ass, I'm going to give you a little bit of his credentials.
Okay.
So this is going to be boring as fuck. So if you want to skip this, go ahead. Unfortunately, Boo Boo cannot.
Thanks.
So he's a medieval historian who specializes in the administration and society of the northwest of England during the 13th and 14th centuries, particularly the history of the ceremonial county of Cheshire. Yeah, Cheshire. So
like the cat.
Yeah, so he basically, like the fucking cat. So he basically is a historian who specializes only in a particular area and only in the administrational, societal things in that particular area, which, God bless him, sounds boring as fuck.
He seems to like it.
Yeah, he must, but that means he's only researching like historical documents, court records, things like that, like really mundane, boring stuff. But hey, he loves it, and he found something really cool, which we're going to get to. He graduated from the universities of Sheffield, where he received his Bachelor of Arts degree in 1967, and also from King's College in London in 1968, earning his postgraduate certification in education, before finally obtaining his master's at the University of Liverpool, where in 2011 he was also awarded the degree of Doctor of Letters to recognize his extensive work in that specific field. So he's gotten all sorts of things for working specifically in this very narrow field.
So if you're skipping to this part, he just said the dude knows what the fuck he's talking about. I just used the word again.
Exactly. So you ready for the breakthrough? The big thing he found?
Yes, I'm ready, I think. Fuck me.
All right, fuck it. Here we go. In his study of court documents from that time, he found a name mentioned 7 different times in these court rolls, all right?
Okay.
Through the years 1310 and 1311. The name was Roger Fucks by the Navel.
Oh my God, dude, what?
Yeah, so the guy's name was Roger Fucks by the Navel. I mean, a lot of people have wondered if that's a sexual context or not. That sounds pretty sexual to me.
It sounds like he likes to fuck by the navel. I mean, right? That's what the name would imply.
I think what the name's implying is that he was a dullard who didn't know how to fuck properly, so maybe he was trying to stick it in the belly button. I don't know. It's a great name, though.
Not there.
I kind of wish that name lived on. Like, we still, like, had descendants of his. Like, hey, it's John Fucks by the Navel.
Right. I've lived by the Fucks by the Navels for years. They are great people.
Yeah, there's where that name popped up. So that's a fun one. That's the earliest example of it being used, quote unquote, sexual context, rather.
But that's just speculation, right? On that one. It's like that it's sexual.
Yeah, because, I mean, to me it sounds like it is, but that etymologists and the grammar historians are kind of out on whether it meant that or not, but because I guess it could mean fidgets by the navel. I don't know, but...
I don't know. Fidgets fucks, it kind of sounds the same to me. He's doing something by the navel.
Maybe he was that guy that sits on the park bench just playing with his belly button hair, so he's fidgeting with it. I don't know. Or maybe he had a habit of, fidgeting near a naval yard. It's just...
He fucked his own belly button.
that could be it, too. But the fact that it was found 7 times in court records means that it was a real person and it wasn't a mistake. I guess it still could be like maybe the court document guy just hated him and would always record his name like that.
Nickname that the fucking dude came up with for him.
Yeah, like just really hated the guy, maybe. I don't know.
His last name was actually Smith.
Yeah. So aside from those 2 names, I couldn't find any other, Sean Fucker or anybody like that. These are only 2 names I found. And in researching that part, I found that the Oxford English Dictionary, which is a very prestigious dictionary,
I may have heard of it,
cites the word originating in 1503 in the form of fuck it.
Fuck it. Like fuck how we say it?
Not spelled how we say it. It's spelled Fukkit. One word.
Oh.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
And the earliest known spelling as we know it today was used in 1535 in a work by Sir David Lindsay titled A Satire of the Three Estates.
Fucking.
In which he writes, I'm going to use my bad accent again here.
Okay.
Bishops may fuck their fill and be, what the fuck word is that? Okay, so this is Old English, and I forgot about this. I wasn't prepared to try to pronounce this fucking word. I'm assuming it's like an Old English or Latin translation that means marry, like, fuck your fill and be merry. But it's spelled Vnmaryit. The married.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's weird. So anyway, that spelling, along with the ridiculous title, just kind of makes me question if this guy was a writer in any capacity. Just gonna say.
You're just saying what we're all thinking here.
Yeah, I hope so.
Fuck their fill. Whoa, sir.
And be merry. So historians believe that fuck is an even more ancient word, though, but it just wasn't written down in the type of texts that have survived from the Old English and Middle English eras. And a lot believe or hope that, we'll find more, but you never know because, Roger Fucks by the Navel was found in 2015, and that was an earlier example than what we know now, knew before. So, there could still be stuff out there. Yeah, there's not much else of note that I could find in my research on the word before that or after that until 1857. And all of you English history fanatics will probably recall that 1857 is the year that the Obscene Publications Act was made law. And essentially, very unpopular thing here, the word fuck was fucking outlawed. Another thing that happened in 1857 in UK history was the birth of William Fife III. Have you heard of him?
Me? No. I'm uneducated.
Okay. Well, so am I, so I'd never heard of him either. But he was a 3rd-generation yacht designer. What that tells me is not a whole lot was happening in the UK in those days. He just designed these things, and it was apparently important to record this. He has nothing to do with anything else. I just felt like mentioning that. So, after the Obscene Publications Act in the UK, the U.S. followed suit in 1873 with the Comstock Act, which I originally misread as the Cornstalk Act. Was very disappointed there wasn't a corn-related origin story to why the U.S. passed an obscenity law. I'm going to be honest.
I'll be referring to it as the Cornstalk Act from here.
The Cornstalk Act.
Yes.
1873.
Cornstalks. Illegal.
So, it's important to note that these laws were brought around because of pornographic prints. And as such, they applied more to print than verbal fuckery, and they began to break down in 1933 with the Ulysses decision. You know what the Ulysses decision is?
No.
Good, me neither. So we're going to break that down real quick.
Okay.
The sources I found on it didn't really elaborate any further than calling it the Ulysses decision. So I researched that. I had to research the Ulysses decision instead of just trying to find other links that would, rotate back to this. It kept coming with the Ulysses decision. So had to find out what that was. And because I did so much fucking research into it, I'm going to explain it here.
Yeah, I feel you should.
I wasn't going to go any further with it, but here we go. Here it is. So in 1922, James Joyce published Ulysses, which was his most famous work. So before that, sometimes you get comics and they'll be they'll be scattered out through issues, and then you'll get it together as one big graphic novel or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. He released different pieces of it and eventually became a big work, and he released the big work in 22, if I'm reading this right. There was a publication called The Little Review, and they began printing his little episodes of this thing. But one was published, and it was called the Nausicaa episode. I'm probably saying that wrong.
That's a word.
Is it a real word? We don't know. It featured, and this is going to be rough. It's a bit heavy, but it featured in 1922 a masturbation scene. Oh my God. The magazine went out to subscribers, and a complaint was filed with the Manhattan District Attorney. So for over a decade, the book was banned. After a bunch of legal nonsense, which, I can't even begin to get into that, a trial was set, and the case, and you can look this up, the case was the United States versus one book called Ulysses.
What?
So the author wasn't on trial. The publication wasn't on trial. They put the book
on trial?
Yes, the fucking book itself was on trial. Good news, the book was not found guilty.
Oh, good. Okay. Didn't want that innocent book put in prison.
Well, here's the reasoning, and I'm going to paraphrase this because, old English is, this is 1920, whatever. But you know how the people talked back then? It was all, especially judges, they always, muddy things up with legal jargon. So he basically said, whilst in many places the effects of Ulysses on the reader undoubtedly is somewhat emetic, nowhere does it tend to be an aphrodisiac. So yeah, it was found innocent or not guilty because it didn't make the judge horny.
Oh my God. This is soft core at best.
Well, this is not working for me.
Fuck. What a verdict to reach.
Yeah.
Not horny enough.
I've never heard of a court case ending that way.
I've never heard of a court case versus a state versus a book.
Yeah, that's a weird one. That stuck out to me too. That was very unusual.
Yeah, I wonder, I don't know, I'm sure it's not as simple as I like to imagine it the book sitting there on the stand and what do you have to say for yourself?
And just dead silence and everyone's staring. The book falls over and everybody gasps.
Yeah.
Order in my court.
Right.
So back to our serious fucking timeline now.
Yeah.
The Ulysses ruling paved the way for the publication of other works with sexual and profane themes, such as James Jones's novel From Here to Eternity, which I don't know if I've heard that in the context of a book, but I think there's songs with that same title that are inspired by it. But it contains 50 uses of the word fuck.
Oh, shit.
Which is way less than the 258 in the original manuscript. Unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
And it's a war novel, so what's a war novel without liberal use of the word fuck?
Yeah, you'd be saying fuck a lot. That is being very liberal with it.
I mean, I certainly would be saying fuck a lot.
Yeah, I think, especially if I'm losing.
Right, yeah, oh yeah.
See a couple of my guys die.
Fuck!
God, we fucking suck, guys. Come on, what the fuck?
And if we start winning, fuck yeah!
Oh, fuck your mothers.
Very professional podcast here, guys.
Oh, yeah.
If you're still listening,
right,
we'll get back to this.
First off, thank you.
Your patience is immeasurable. So just because profanity won a legal battle, it didn't mean that it was socially acceptable, right?
People were still prudes.
Yeah, like people would still be clutching their pearl necklaces like, oh, heavens.
Goodness, did you kiss your daughter and or mother with that mouth?
So, in 1961, comedian Lenny Bruce was arrested for obscenity in San Francisco. Are you familiar with Lenny Bruce?
Never heard of him.
Good. We'll get to that later, I hope.
Okay.
So he was arrested for obscenity in San Francisco for playing a club, basically. He said something on stage that was considered obscene and was arrested. And I can't find exactly what he said, but one of his more famous quotes that wasn't from this particular time, but that he's known for was, if you take away the right to say fuck, you take away the right to say fuck the government. So they probably didn't really care for this guy a whole lot.
All right. They're like, all right, throw that guy in the fucking brig.
Yeah. So he was arrested again in 62, the next year, at a place called the Gate of Horn Club in Chicago. And present for that arrest was a young man named George Carlin.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Now, okay.
Now I've heard of someone.
Lenny Bruce was a big influence on Carlin even before this. That's why Carlin was there, to see the guy, blah, blah, blah. And when Carlin saw he was getting arrested, he, tried to get closer to the scene, and the cops asked him for his ID, and he basically said, fuck you. And he was taken to the police station in the same vehicle as Bruce was.
Oh, wow. That was probably really cool for him.
Yeah. And if any of you aren't...
heroes.
Yeah, meet your heroes and get to ride in a fucking cop car with them.
United by the word fuck.
United by the word fuck.
See, it's beautiful.
So I'd be shocked if anybody out there doesn't know who George Carlin was. But he would go on to...
Maybe you're a little too young to be listening.
Yeah, or just not...
Cultured?
Cultured, that's the word, fuck.
And I'm uncultured. I've heard of this guy.
So everyone has to have heard of Carlin. But he would go on to find fame through his bit about the 7 words you can't say on television. Which, of course, as we all know, those 7 words are shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits.
Wow.
Nailed it. Fucking nailed
it.
Carlin would also be
virtual high five.
Yes. Carlin would also be arrested and taken to court for his own vulgarity. For example, in 1972, he was charged with violation of the obscenity laws after performing in Milwaukee. The case was dismissed after a judge declared the language was fucked up, but he wasn't necessarily fucking up to anything.
And all the meanwhile, where the hell is the First Amendment? For all these American cases anyway.
Yeah, because I guess, would that cover obscenity? Unless the obscenity, if they added that to, anyway, that we can get into a whole thing about,
freedom,
laws and all that, but I don't have the mental capacity to even begin to elaborate on a lot of them, even if I had the stuff right in front of me to read it.
That's fair.
Yeah, so they threw out the case the first time, but he was brought in and arrested 7 fucking times for that one routine, the 7 dirty words.
No shit.
I'm like Lenny Bruce, James Joyce, and, many others that I probably can't even think of, that we can use our favorite swear words without being afraid of being arrested and locked up because these guys fought it,
Yeah.
So, quick side note, I know we got off, got off course with the broader look into vulgarity, but I felt like it was important to look at some of these things because it's an important part of the history of the fuck word.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I mean, thank these guys so we don't, get thrown in prison or, shot in the head or something like that for just saying such a beautiful word.
They fucked the trail for us.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to.
That's right.
So you ready to wrap up this fuckfest?
I know this is an episode about fuck, but real quick, can anybody believe that the word tits you can't say on TV? Why?
That is a good point. I thought everybody loved tits.
Yeah. Everybody loves tits. Anyway.
Yeah.
Wrap up this fuckfest.
Yeah, we're going to wrap up this fuckfest. We're going to go over some sidebars, nothing of deep diving history here. The phrase fuck all, for example, they like to say that in Britain, UK. Yeah. Oh, fuck all.
Fuck all.
It was first recorded in 1960. First time it was recorded being said. Yeah, that surprised me. Fuck up is said to have originated around 1916. Fuck off might have come from 1929, but it wasn't really recorded as a command to leave me the fuck alone until 1944. So I don't know what fuck off. Maybe somebody was fucking off. I don't know.
Fuck off. Fuck your fill merrily.
Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so Egyptian legal agreements from the 23rd dynasty, which was, I believe that was 749 BC, sometime in between there too, obviously. But some of these legal agreements frequently included the phrase, "If you do not obey this decree, may a donkey fuck you."
Oh.
And
Whoa.
God, would I love to see the hieroglyphics for that. And I also found nothing to back that up, but I found it and I included it because it made me laugh. That one may not be true. There's no source, but it's fun.
Yeah.
So our final little springboard here. Can you say fuck on TV?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, but I've always wondered why, right?
Yeah.
Like, why can some shows, like, you watch Always Sunny on Philadelphia and they're dropping all sorts of words on TV. It's like, okay. But then you go and watch a show on a different channel and, like, American Dad or something like that, and they'll bleep things out. Not always, but most of the time they'll bleep it.
Yeah.
So, why is that? You know?
Okay. No.
Okay, so broadcast television such as NBC, CBS, ABC, blah, 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 they have to deal with the FCC. Okay. Cable channels like FX, TNT, AMC, they don't have to answer to the government, but they do have advertisers to keep happy.
Oh, okay.
So HBO, Skinamax, and other places, cable channels that don't have advertising per se, or very much of it, and streaming service, they can pretty much make their own fucking rules up. So that's why, nice. Yeah, that's why different services and different mediums they answer to different people.
Okay, so it's all about who is playing your shit.
It's basically all about who you know and who you blow.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe not that last part.
Who you know anyway. If you want to blow them, that's on you.
Please don't. If you do, don't tell us about it. Anyway, that's been our first episode. We're going to get better at this, I promise, but we hope you guys had fun and you stayed with us till the end. If you didn't, well, fuck you.
We understand.
No, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck
yeah,
you. Fuck
yeah,
you. This
fuck.
is the fuck episode, so fuck.